All right, what's up guys, it's Mitchell or Deity, and today's video is going to be talking about quite a bit of things. One, I'm going to talk about the artifact selector. Those of you that are watching this guide in the future, you do not need to worry about it, but are watching it today or the day it comes out, I'm going to be saying artifacts that are good. You can watch it just so you can see a couple of like my top rated 5-star artifacts. That's going to be the first thing I cover. Second is going to be talking about clearing your Moonlight thing, blessing 2 to get Meteor Cowrick. 3 is going to be talking about 6-starring. That's just part of the Cowrick part. Which character's next. So you should have been saving up over this time, hopefully, or working on the characters that I've already told you. So I did make a video a couple days ago about early RTA guides. So that is the next part of this guide. We're going to be building our RTA teams. So I will go over that shortly or quickly. And then after that, after we are done with building our RTA teams, those of you that are playing right now should be still working on Labyrinth. You should make sure you're doing this every day. Make sure you're through Nixie's Sanctum. Hopefully most of you guys are on Malachus of Consciousness by now, or at least getting into it. We are going to be clearing Malachus of Consciousness before starting Hell Raids. Hell Raids are nice, they give gear, but Malachus of Consciousness gives full sets that you can use for PvP right away. It gives a full protection set, it gives a full torrent set, it gives a full speed set that a lot of pieces can be used on Senya. So there are a lot of things that comes from this, that doing raid each week usually only gives you 1 or 2 pieces, and they're going to end up sitting on your account because you won't have the other piece yet to mix them with something. But raid, we will be getting into. I'll be showing teams for every boss for both regular and nightmare raid. But by the time we get a few more PvP characters set up, we'll have better gear to make this much easier, because I don't want to rush you guys into this. It sucks to do. I don't personally even do it on my main account. I hate raid, but it is very, very good to get some really, really high quality gear. So with that, I'm also gonna be doing Abyss videos. I know I've been saying this for forever, but we want to push up to at least Abyss 100. So I will try to start working on that as fast as possible. And also I am working on character build videos for each element. The fire video is already up. If you want to see in-game build examples of pretty much any character that's worth building, I have a video for fire up right now. After I make this video, I'm going to be using a free unequip to do all the other videos. When watching those videos, know that those are in-game stats, but it shows you the stat allocations at which you should put your thing. So if it has really high speed, you know to focus some speed, some HP, some defense. If it has really high crit damage and attack and middle speed, you know kind of what gear you need to be looking for. I show each piece of gear with the substats while showing the character, so you can pause and see what kind of stat combinations you need when looking to build that character. I will be doing that for all elements. Fire is already up though if you want to see an example of the video, but I also did the getting into RTA video. You need to watch that to learn the different roles of each character and which ones I suggest building first. So now let's get into this and start moving. So my character or my artifact options for the selector, I'm going to just open this real quick. I'm going to be talking about just artifacts that are good in general. So if you're watching this later, you won't have the artifact selector. This is an event that's happening, but if you're watching this later, you're going to have some kind of cool thing that's happening at that time. I'm sure you're going to be getting some good, like we have gear events going on right now. There's always something extra. You'll just have to watch a guide as to what you should be trying to get from that. So going through this, my first suggestions are, if you have Moonlight Landy, get Elber's Ritual Sword. That is the first suggestion. The top best thing you can get. But going through, I'm going to give like the best for each one. So the first one you should be getting is the first option I will be suggesting, is Sigurd's Scythe. This artifact is great. There is a new artifact called Golden Rose, but there is no way to get a banner to obtain it, because if you pick Abigail and Story Summon, you cannot summon on her banner yet. So that is an issue. So that is not something that you can get, but Sigurd's Scythe will work in its place, and it's still best in slot on some characters. So it's the best overall warrior artifact that you can get from that. All the rest are okay. So if you have Lilius, you can get this artifact. It works very, very well on her to counter a lot of the meta right now. So Fire Lilius on Ancient Dragon's Legacy is good. Elber's Ritual Sword is probably my #1 recommendation, though. You're always needing these. If you have 2 copies of it, you want to have 2 + 15 copies, because there are a bunch of characters that this is best in slot in. It's one of the best artifacts. So if you get Elber's Ritual Sword, you can never go wrong. If you have Senya, you can get Spear of New Dawn. It is the best artifact on Senya. So if you want to finish a solid Senya, this is great. But if you don't have Senya, I do not suggest getting this and Senya from the character selector, because it's better to summon on her banner. You can get different characters that are better from that. So the first story summon that we're going to be doing for new players is going to be Senya, which is going to be tomorrow. I think we can do the Senya summon at reset. So it takes 3 weeks, or well, 3 rotations. So it takes a long time to be able to do that. Next up, we are going to be talking about Alexa's Basket is an okay choice. Double-Edged Crescent is okay. Mana is okay. Rihanna and Lucille is okay. Secret Art Sword is pretty good. Pretty much all of the Assassin artifacts are pretty solid. Shepherd of the Hollow is good. Goblet of Oath, Sword of Summer Twilight is pretty good. Sword of Winter Shadow I wouldn't get. But Secret Art Sword Charm, all of these I just mentioned are pretty solid. Wind Rider, though, is probably the best to get from this. It is annoying to get. So Wind Rider is a very high suggested one. So I do not know if it even has a banner anymore. This is one of the ones I would suggest to get if you do not need an Elvis Ritual Sword right now. Next, we have our archer ones, rangers, whatever they're called. The only one worth getting is Song of Stars for PvE. I don't think any of these are worth grabbing. None of them are great, so that is my suggestion. In terms of mage artifacts, Abyssal Crown is probably what I'm going to get, because I'm going to pick Polytus from the Selector. So Polytus on Abyssal Crown adds a lot of RNG to your matches where you win games you shouldn't win. So as a new player, as you're learning the game, getting a little RNG on your side could be very, very big. So I am going to be taking that route. But Sharoon or Polytus is what I'm in the air between on which to get, because Sharoon is going to be so good going forward. So either one of those 2 characters would be my choices for the selective, or the selector that we're getting. Next up, Black Handed Goddess would be my second choice, though. It is pretty good. It gives you a lot of extra stat. It can make characters work earlier. So Black Hand would be my second, but I don't really recommend it too much to newer players, because most of the characters that use it, you're not going to be worrying about building. Now, for the Soul Weaver artifacts, Rod of Amaryllis would probably be my number 1 choice. Second choice would be Celestine. Other than that, I wouldn't worry about getting any of these. You'll get them over time. Most of the best Soul Weaver artifacts are limiteds, but the best one you can get for PvE is Rod of Amaryllis. So if you're a person who thinks they're only going to care about PvE in this game, even though there's like no PvE after basically where we're at besides the lab, is Rod of Amaryllis or Song of Stars. So that is my artifact suggestions. My personal things I'm going to do is I'm going to be probably grabbing Abyssal Crown and Polytus, or I'm going to be grabbing Sharoon and then maybe a Sigurd Scythe or something. I'm not sure, but some kind of combination like that between my selectors. So now let's go into our characters. If you look at the current challenges to unlock, so once you're to this point, hopefully by part 20, you know you need to beat Zio. But we go to our Moonlight Blessing. That is chapter 4, 10. You need to be beaten Zio before you get to this point. We are going to be hurrying to get this character. This is one of the best characters in the game. It's the best cleanser by far. So we are going to be needing to reach level 60 with 4 heroes. I'm going to be showing you which units prioritize, because now that we have our Wyvern team set up, we got our Expo teams to at least do level 2s. By the time we build some PvP characters, we can use those PvP characters to fill out our Expedition teams that cannot beat level 3s yet. So we need to be working on this. The way we do that is you need to go to your character list and pull up my last video. I tell you what all you need. You're going to be needing 2 tanks. You're going to be needing 2 cleansing characters. You're going to want a couple disruptors. You're going to want a couple anti-cleave style characters, and you're going to need just your general damage dealers for counter picks. So you need to look at each role and see what you have. So for our tanks, hopefully you have gotten an Arrowell. Arrowell is going to be one of the best characters. She's probably going to be my first pick in every single RTA match. So Arrowell is huge. One thing is I did get lucky on my Moonlight Summon, and I got Lionheart Sirmia. So I got her this morning on stream. I opened this, did my dailies on stream, and then I did 1 Mystic pull and got her. So we did get lucky and got Lionheart Sirmia. That's pretty big for the account. But so she will fill a damage dealer role, but you need to go through. Falconer Clury is going to be a disruptor character. If you do not have any disruptors in that are better than her, we are going to be putting her on whatever fastest gear we end up rolling. So Celine is going to be one that's a disruptor character for us. She's also a good damage dealer. So both of those are really, really solid. We have Destina and Mediator Cowrick as our cleansers. So a lot of times you'll need to find another tank. We do have Adventurer Raz as a secondary tank option, but if you have Crow, Yulha, Last Rider Crow, Fallen Cecilia, there are quite a few other tank characters that I put in that video that you can look and see, but you want to make sure you have that as well. In the video, it tells you what you need of each. So follow that video. Now, you will need to 6-star the characters you decide on. All of our accounts are going to be different from here. This is where the game's going to get fun for you, because you're going to have to learn a little bit on your own. So if you don't have Celine, maybe you're building another disruptor. Maybe you have Solitaria. Maybe you have, I don't know, somebody else. But you're going to build them, and then you're going to have to learn how to play them. That is going to be hard for me to teach. That is where Discord comes in clutch. So our Discord is 5,000 people. We have 20 people in there right now, or 30, talking in different chats. We have the ability, you can make your own private chat now. We've been upgrading the Discord. So you can go in there, make a private chat that only 3 people can join. You can just hang with friends. And there's so many options. You can stream your game, get help. If you're crafting and need help, you can get someone to walk through crafting with you. If you're not comfortable talking, you can use voice chat or text chat while streaming. Also, you could just not stream and just send pictures in the channels and get help. Discord is how I got into this game and fell in love with this game. That is why I am very heavily pushing to create the best Discord server for new players to join and get help, because I don't recommend it. I won't say it, but I want a place where everyone can learn how to play the game well. Also, if you need guilds, we have over 2,000 people in guilds. We have 75 guilds that are fully active, everyone logging in every day, getting full guild bonuses and always having buffs. And everyone requests Wyvern Claws, meaning that you get the max out of your guild. So everything we have set up in the Discord is amazing right now. I highly suggest joining. A link is down in the chat, or in the top of the comment section. So I highly suggest, if you want to truly get into this game, you've got to learn. The best way to learn is talk to other people that can share experiences with you. So once you decide on your 4 characters to upgrade, you will level 60 them. That will unlock Meteor Cowrick. You will level 60 him as well. So once you have him done, you will now have Destina, Meteor Cowrick. Your cleansers are pretty solidly set up to get into RTA. But now that we have all those characters, we're going to need to get geared. So from today on, I'm going to give a kind of checklist of things to try to get done. I'm going to be doing a big crafting session in about 3 days. I'm going to farm as many of this as I can. My goal is to get to 15,000 of this. I did not take advantage of the most recent buff event because it is unfair for me to do that for people watching the guide that don't have a hunt event. So I'm going to be farming heavily. I want to get at least 15 to 20k Wyvern Claws. And then I also want to be getting a bunch of charms. So one thing with charms is if you have a bunch of gear sitting here that needs to be rolled, then there is no point crafting anymore. You need to go in and get your charm count up. Getting this charm count up, you do that by farming Unrecorded History or Labyrinth. Labyrinth, make sure you're doing your daily entries so you can get your ring and neck charms. But then Unrecorded History will be dropping the dust when you sell the gear, and they'll be dropping charms as well. So if you're running low on charms, my suggestion is do a 1 to 2 day heavy Unrecorded History grind and a 1 to 2 day heavy Wyvern grind. I do not recommend Banshee for your first thing. You need some Wyvern gear to stabilize your account, and then you can move to Banshee. But for right now, I'm going to suggest try to get 15k Wyvern Claws and farm up a bunch of Stigma and Charms. So if you look here, I just 6-starred 3 new characters, and I still have 300k Stigma just from passively playing. I barely, as you see, my Skystone thing barely changed, and the reason my Skystone count changed is because I accidentally bought the Expedition Pass. I do not recommend buying this as a new player. It is good value, but I accidentally bought this. So I was trying to click receive all, I clicked purchase and wasn't paying attention, and I spent 1,500 Skystones. If you buy this, it is good value, but I don't recommend it as a new player because you want the overall more progression. I think from this would be my advice. So now Rowana is on banner. For those of you watching right now, if there's a character that you know is good on banner, you're going to be sitting on a bunch of bookmarks by this point, most likely, hopefully, and you can summon on Rowana, but make sure you have 600 bookmarks to pity her. She does go away tomorrow, so make sure you know when the banner ends. So it ends on 9/6, which is tomorrow. So if you make sure you know when the banner ends so you can pull on them, but only pull on characters if you have 600 bookmarks. It's a very good habit to get into. So she will be used in a lot of things. She's very good in RTA right now because of Moonlight Landy. So you can pull her and you will not regret it. But be always very careful when pulling a character. And if you ever need to know if a character is good, if you're watching this video in the future that she is not on banner, ask in Discord if it's good. So that is going to basically be everything. You should be clearing up to Malika's consciousness, getting your characters 6-starred and start to awaken them and get skills, or some skill ups. Don't have to do super hard skill ups for now, but then farm a bunch of unrecorded history to just stock up the stigma so you can make more 6 stars later, sell some penguins if you need gold, but also sell the gear and get the charm so that we can do a big crafting session. So I will be able to sit and do 15 to 20k wyvern claws, show the gear as I'm getting it that I'm going to go take and put on the characters to get into PvE or PvP starting RTA. So that's all I really have for this video. That is your current goal, is to get Meteor Cowrick fully unlocked, go through the guide video of what you should be trying to set up or characters that are worth building and fit different roles, and then start saving everything. And then a couple real quick questions people have had is, should you sell or extract equipment now with the new change? There's a new change. If you sell, you get powder for it. The only time it is worth selling over extracting is if you have fully cleared out your charms every week. This is the best value. You need to, one, make sure you do this every week. This is 20 right side charms as a new player. This is so much value, it's insane. Now, this is still better than selling. So you want to use your extraction materials to fully clear this out every week. Every week. Then next, you want to be checking your blue boxes. I currently have 10. You will need extraction materials to utilize these blue boxes for right side gear. You will want to be getting some attack percent rings, some crit damage necks, some speed boots, and some HP percent necks and rings, depending on what you need. But this is your way to target gear and make sure it's good. I would never waste these boxes on these 3 things as a new player. It is not worth it. You can just craft and do an epic craft and get one of these that will work well. But boots, necks, and rings are your main focus from this. Sometimes we might need a few effect res pieces to finish out our Destina. We're going to need it for Montmorency if we're getting to the lab, but you will need to do extractions to get all of this done too. So it is not always going to be worth selling the pieces. You will need to still extract almost everything as a new player. The only time you're going to sell gear is if it's low quality gear you get from farming unrecorded history. So that is all I have for this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, comment them down below. I highly suggest joining the Discord if you're going to take this game seriously and play it in the long term, because the more you learn now, the more you interact with the community, it makes the game so much more fun. We're going to be starting to do tournaments through the Discord and things like that, so it'll give you a chance to kind of play in some maybe fun things, meet some new people. It is, I don't know, I'm super excited with how everything's turning out with us. But yeah, that's all I got. So if you haven't subscribed, we just hit 15k, so that would be nice. But that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Brieg, tomorrow I will be doing a YouTube stream pulling Brieg, testing him. So any of you guys want to see Brieg right away and see if I would suggest pulling him, go to or just watch for me right when Brieg releases, his banner's out. I will be live on YouTube. I'll probably be live 20 minutes before he drops because there's no maintenance. All right, but that's all I got. Finally done. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.